Mohammed's up. Mohammed, thanks for being here again, buddy. You are a regular for sure. He says, hey guys, VPS Embeds just finished posting. I read the battle plan and it says to build links to the channel. Should I wait before ordering these links, or are the embeds and links separate from each other? Yeah, they're separate from each other, but like honestly with YouTube, I don't care how soon you start building links. Really, to me, it makes no difference. What I recommend doing with that is that you actually build links and embeds kind of around the same time, because it makes more sense to do that, like from like a logical standpoint. If you think about it, like why would you get 50 embeds and no backlinks, or 50 embeds and then backlinks, or backlinks and no embeds? You know what I mean? It just, to me, it would be more like a simultaneous thing. And so we try to think about it that way. You know, obviously also if you can send traffic to those at the same time that you're building links and doing embeds, that's an even better signal, and perhaps even some social signals. Although I don't know that social signals have much value anymore for SEO. I haven't really tested it in quite some time, but because I think more about traffic now for that than actual just flat out social signals. Does anybody have a comment for that?
Yeah, as far as social signals, it's we go back to what we're calling ART. And it starts with activity on the link, right? The A. And yeah, Google doesn't care about social signals. And I think it was who's that shithead? John Mueller. He's the one who said Google doesn't pay attention to social signals. But it's a misnomer. It's like, a sleight of hand, because Google does care about social signals in that it wants to know what's happening with links. It's all about links. It's always been about links. It is about links now. It will be about links into the future. It's not changing anytime soon. That's the way Google is structured. You give Google a signal on that link and call it a social signal, call it activity on the link, call it whatever. I was going to drop an F-bomb. Call it whatever you want. Google wants to know what's happening in there, right? So that's why one of our strategies is shortening the links with the Google shortener, and so that Google can have direct metrics on what's happening with that link. And you get that activity on that link, and really good things start to happen. So call it, I don't know, we don't have to call it social signals, because John Mueller obviously doesn't want you to know that this is really important. The important part is what happens to that link in whatever platform it is that we're talking about. The platform doesn't matter. It's actually the activity. Now, if the platform is bad, then the signal is bad. But if the platforms are good, then the signals are good, and Google is going to pay attention. They're going to pay attention to both. So yeah, that's my take on it.
And just to be clear, guys, social signals, the reason why like just buying spam social signals typically doesn't work is because they're from accounts that create, like stuff or share stuff or whatever, but then there's no activity on that social signal. And so that's why they just really there's no value there anymore, because they don't provide any traffic and there's no activity. If it's a natural social signal, then that post, that share, that like or whatever will propagate or kind of, it will draw attention, because there's real followers, real engagers with whoever created that signal to begin with, which means there will be activity on that social signal, whether it's additional traffic or additional comments, likes, shares of that social share itself, if that makes sense. So like if somebody shares a URL to Facebook and nothing ever happens to that share on Facebook, in other words, there's no comments, no likes for that share, no engagement on that share, does that share even register? Now, I don't know 100% whether it does or not, but it's basically, it provides no value. So in my opinion, it would be ignored, right? Now, if somebody has a lot of friends or a big following or whatever on Facebook, and they share a URL, it's typically going to get a bunch of comments in that post, which is basically funneling link equity from all those other profiles to that social share post, right? Does that make sense? Which then transfers ultimately back into the target URL, whatever was shared. And so that's my point. If you can get second level or second tier engagement on social signals, that's where they end up having some power. And oftentimes, and think about it, guys, when people engage on a social share, so a first tier social share, when people engage on that, there will be a level of traffic that comes from that too. And it's referral traffic from those platforms, which is a great ranking signal. So that's why I'm saying, like, just buying straight up social signals is typically useless. It's a waste of money because you're not getting any engagement on those social signals, no traffic, no referral traffic, and no, you know, additional, like I said, engagement with the actual share posts themselves. All right. So save your money.